How's it going, guys? Central Coast Disc Golf and Dynamic Discs are bringing you some more disc golf action. As always, Dynamic Discs is sponsoring a Dymax giveaway, so make sure to like and comment on YouTube for a chance to win. Speaking of DD, gotta love them for sponsoring Central Coast Disc Golf and giving away all those free Dymax discs. Super nice of them. But anyway, let's watch the disc golf. How's it going, guys? Ian here from Central Coast Disc Golf. Unfortunately, no Kevin today. What we've got for you guys today is the 2014 Wintertime Open. And I have a recap video of all 3 rounds and the final 9. I've picked a card to follow the first round, and then I followed the lead card on the last 2 rounds of the final 9. And so I thought I'd just do a little recap video and kind of give you guys show you the highlights, some of the lowlights, some of the key shots. And we're starting off on hole 3 here, 502-foot par 4. Give you a look at the basket. There's a Bombarica right there. And Kyle Ekman is leading off right here. This hole's really open, and then it kind of pinches down. And I saw a lot of different shots. There's Kyle threw the kind of Annie backhand up the middle. And Simon Lizotte on the box right now. And he lays down a sick-looking roller. And that thing is working. Fading right towards the pin. He fishes about, I want to say, 35, 40 feet short of the pin, right on line. And up next is Alex Johnson, pretty close to Denver, Colorado, just a little bit west of there. And he is the Kevin Estrada of the group, solely forehand, but a real nice forehand. And a good-looking shot there, just hit that tree, unfortunately. And stepping up here is Steve Rico, Legacy Disc co-owner. Really awesome disc golfer, super nice dude. And it looks like he's trying to throw the roller as well, but that one lands at just not the right angle. Kind of just cut rolls off to the left. There's actually an alley over there. It's not too terrible. Up next, Garrett Tapkin out of San Diego, California. Really solid player. Throws really far. And he took that huge Sky Annie route. Threw a big old hyzer flip out there. And I got some trees. But so here we are looking at Simon for eagle. Bang, bang. Not a bad way to start off your tournament with an eagle. We're looking at hole 2 here. Looking at Kyle Ekman throwing a forehand. This one's uphill, big dogleg right from the perspective. And he misses all the trees and parks it. The basket is in a really interesting spot. This is Simon coming back for par, and you can see the basket just like in the middle of all those trunks. And he was trying to shoot a window and got denied, unfortunately. On to hole 3, Steve Rico's on the box, and this is an island hole, so most of the players were just laying up through that window that Steve just took. That's a beautiful shot right there. And then you can see the pin sit on that little island. And it's actually a little better to be over to the left because you can just slide it across the pavement like Steve does, instead of worrying about getting denied by those rocks. Oh, sorry, that was hole 5. We're on to hole 6 here. This is a huge par 4. The basket's way down there somewhere. There's kind of 2 fairways. There's one right here, and there's the one that starts up a little bit and about 100 feet to the right. And most of the players were just throwing out towards that window. It's actually better to be off to the left than to the right, so you can get on the trees on your second shot. But Simon has a cannon. He just throws a huge hyzer over all the trees. Absolutely beautiful drive. You see it come down right there. Just a bomb. And here's Simon with the second shot on the same hole. Throwing just a huge hyzer again over the trees. Faded in towards the basket beautifully. Him and Paul Macbeth were just dropping huge bombs all weekend. Really amazing shots. Moving on to the next hole, Kyle Ekman on the box. This one's just about 315, I want to say. Just a nice, easy backhand hyzer. And the pin's kind of on this ridge. Alex looks like he's going to rip out another forehand. Throwing a nice Sky Annie fuck shot. That one finished pretty close to the basket. Here we're looking at Kyle's putt for birdie. Nice work, man. And moving on hole 8, another par 4, and this is another one where Simon and Paul were going over the top. And this is a really interesting hole. There's a Mando. It's a big, huge dogleg left around a Mando tree that's about 400 feet out of the fairway. And Simon and Paul were throwing these huge sky anti-flex shots over the trees and around this Mando. See it finished right there. Huge bomb. Just unbelievable. The spotter was a little confused, but that one made it around the Mando tree. So here's Steve Rico. He's showing the line that most everybody else took, which is like a low hyzer skip shot. And his came out a little high. And so he's still got to go around the Mando, and you can see the basket off to the left with the cone on it. And Steve throws this sick backhand cut roller. Super creative. And that one didn't sit down quite soon enough, but he had a look for birdie. Finished with the par. Really cool shot from there. And here you can see where Simon finished, and this is his eagle putt. Ooh, just give it a little notch there. Alright, he's gonna raise the hole 9. 315. This is a pretty good dogleg right. And the shot here is, I don't think you can see the basket, is a forehand, either a low skipper or Paul Macbeth was throwing this really high anti-flex shot that was working really well for him. And you see Kyle with the low shot, skipping beautifully towards the basket. Good hole for Alex here. Keeping out his forehand. This one's getting a little high, it looks like. Yeah, it kind of got knocked down. And you can see where Kyle finished, tapping into bird after a beautiful drive. And that's going to raise the hole 10, 518, par 4. This one's a huge bomb. Way out there, you can see the basket with the cone on top. And Simon is on the box. And he told me he did a 360 drive in practice and crushed it 100 feet past the pin. And that one managed to hit the telephone wire. Oh my god, it was looking so good. Anyway, I think he still managed to save bird. But it's going to bring us to hole 11. Another par 4, 500 feet. And this one's slightly uphill. Actually, pretty much even. But the pin is up on a hill at the end. You can see it with the flag there. And Kyle threw a really nice shot at it. Here's with the second shot. Just laying it for a nice bird. Bringing us to hole 12, 315. This one has some tricky OB. There's usually a lake when there's water, but there's no water in California. So they put up the tape for the OB line. And you can see Kyle is throwing the, I think it was a putter at it. And the Nova, I want to say. There's Simon throwing a mid-range. Going right at the basket, begging for it to get down. Ooh, it goes a little long, but I think he did same bounds. Steve Rico stepping up here. Good looking pull from Steve. And parked. Nice drive. Let's see if Garrett can match Steve's shot. Good looking rib. Hangs it out just a little long. A little right. Alex throwing the forehand. Safe shot. Avoids the OB. Brings us to hole 13, 458. This is a mean par 3. There is a right fairway and a left fairway that's pretty much just the road. So pretty much everybody's throwing an ante over that tree to get into the right fairway. And I think Steve hit that telephone pole. Maybe not. Kyle with his drive. Yes. Oh yeah, he's the one with the telephone pole. Unfortunate. Looking at Simon's drive right now. Hyzer flipping. I believe that's actually a mid-range, and he just crushes this. That might be a PD. But that was a beautiful drive. You can see where he finished. He's actually got to look at birdie, which is extremely rare on this hole. Tickle, tickle. Hole 14, 292. Another par 3. This one has a Mando. You got to go left of that tree with the tape on it. And then the basket's off to the right. Simon's opting for the forehand, which works. I saw better results with the an ante backhand. Steve tries the forehand roller, but hits the Mando tree and comes back. Unfortunate for him. I believe he picked up a bogey on that one. Look, Simon's putt for birdie. He's in there. Nice putt. Good bird. Hole 15, 290. This one's pretty straight. If you go down the tunnel, it's straight, and then a little bit right by that bathroom. But Simon has a cannon, so he just throws a huge hyzer over it. And pretty close. Kyle is taking the more conventional route, which is a low forehand. Watching Simon throw it really drove home a snap for me. He's really slow on his run-up and then just explodes and just crushes him. Watching him throw is just amazing. Kyle came up a little short on that, but this is an Alex Johnson hole if I've ever seen one. And squeaks it under the bush for a nice birdie look. Looking at Simon's birdie putt. No worries for him. Bringing us to hole 16, par 4, 434. This is a tough hole. Really tight window. You got to hit off the tee. And there's that Mando right there. Got to go right at that tree. And that's the perfect line that Simon hit right there. See if Kyle can copy him. Ooh, little right, but that one fought through really well. Found a magic window. Looks like Kyle's throwing the Nova again. You can see the basket way off to the left. And that was a pretty nice up right there. I think he managed to get bird. Simon with his second shot. And again, you can see the basket off to the left.
I'll give you $1.
Ooh, giving that an eagle run. Almost made it. Maybe he did get the bird. Hole 17, 318. This is another island pin. There's a flagged off OB just short of the basket. So a lot of players were laying up, which is a smart shot. And no shame in that. It looks like Simon's laying up right here. Kyle looks like he might be giving it a run. Oh, he kicked off the rocks back inbounds, I believe. Yep. So there you can see where the basket is, and you can see kind of that OB river in between. So Kyle's doing a smart thing, laying it for par. Brings to hole 18, 505. This is a tough, tough hole. You got a Mandy left of that telephone pole, right of the tree past it, and then you need to take a huge dogleg left. And Simon threw a nice forehand, and that's kind of where you want to be, maybe a little farther to the left. But not bad at all. He made both Mandos already. And Kyle is hyzer flipping a gator, a champ gator. He said the thing is like 8 years old or something like that. Just super beat up, but that was a really nice shot. Steve is throwing the forehand, like Simon, and ends up pretty close to Simon as well. I think the shot on this is an anti-flex shot, though. Just so you're a little closer to the pin. The pin's down where Steve's throwing. You can see it off to the left. And those white Mandos were not in play on this hole. There's the basket. Looks like Simon's lining up to throw another forehand at it. And he was telling me pretty much all his drivers are C-line PD2s, if anybody's curious. Forehand, backhand, pretty much everything. Oh, hit a tree. Came a little short. See that second Mando tree Kyle had to navigate around? Throwing a really beautiful backhand, and he is parked for a birdie. Unreal up. And now on hole 1, and this is a big dogleg left, but you got around, go to the right of this big Mando tree right here. And Kyle gets around it. And there's also OB in the road long. You can see the basket way over there to the left. And here's Simon. It's either a fairway driver or a mid-range, I couldn't tell. But he made it work. Skipped around the tree beautifully. That is a tough, tough birdie hole. Kyle was telling me him and his brother both hit 80-footers for bird back-to-back last year on this hole. Unreal. All the dudes doing the last hole high five. We're on to hole 2. This has a couple different lines. It's 259. There's a little OB creek just short of the basket, and you can take the backhand hyzer line, or a hyzer flip line, like Kyle right here, but it's pretty tight. Or there's the forehand line, which you're going to see Simon take right here. And he came up a little short, but I believe he stayed in bounds. And Garrett Tapkin, I believe, taking the forehand line as well, it looks like. Ooh, crushed that thing out there.
Camera, skip in.
Wow. Nice shot. Actually went a little bit long, but not bad at all. So you can see where Simon finished. And then we're looking at his birdie putt right here. No worries. All right, that is all of our first round action. After that, Philo shot a 51, Paul shot a 52, along with Kyle and Simon, and then Nico came in with 53. So that is going to be our card for the second round. And we are starting off on hole 2. Philo Brathwaite on the tee, throwing the forehand. Looking pretty bueno. Parked, man. Really nice shot from Philo. Kyle Ekman's on the box, and he's throwing the flex backhand line, and ooh, catches a nasty tree kick. Looks like Simon taking that forehand line again. It's working. Yep, I'll have a putt for bird. It's going to be right back at the OB, but it's there if he wants it. And we have a McBeast sighting. Throwing the forehand as well. Oh, came up just a little short, and he actually did stay in bounds. He got the world champ roll. And here's Nico LaCastro. Throwing the backhand, he gets a nasty kick. So there's Macbeth inbounds. And so he took his three feet in, meter in or whatever. And we're looking at his birdie putt. Ooh. Uncharacteristic miss. Philo taking advantage, taking his lead up to 2. Bring us to hole 3. It's that big par 4 500 footer. And Philo takes the huge backhand Annie line way out there. It's actually really open once you get past those first set of trees on that line. Really cool shot from him. Paul throwing a roller. Oh, looking beautiful. Fades out a little early, a little right, but that should be an easy birdie from him for there. Nico LaCastro on the box. On the backhand roller as well. Oh, unlucky tree kick. So Philo's second shot, he's probably about a couple hundred feet out. Rips out the forehand. Oh! Nails the eagle. Sick shot. Oh, you gotta love the fairway ace. On to hole 3 here. Or, sorry, 4. And Paul's ripping an backhand Annie. This is that one that's up by the bathrooms. And parked. Beautiful shot. Pretty sure that was a KC Pro Rocky through right there. And on to hole 5. Nico LaCastro's on the box. He's just trying to lay up. Oh, took a nasty kick OB right there. Simon throwing the perfect layup shot here. Patrick Blazak takes a really cool line on this hole later in the rounds. I'll show you. Woo! Nico with this scary upshot right there, and he manages to stay on the island. Again, we're on that huge par 4, and Simon's throwing that huge hyzer bomb, but he came up short on this one and got stuck in the tree, unfortunately. Took a 2-meter penalty stroke. Looks like Paul's going to do the same. He actually throws an anti-flex shot over the trees, unlike Simon, and he crushes this. And I think he actually went long OB into the soccer fields. Unreal. Here's Simon to save par. Beautiful putt. And again, this is that easy backhand hyzer hole 7. And Paul's throwing a rock 3, it looks like. And fades in right towards the basket. Kyle with a pretty long birdie putt here. Whoo! Banged it. Nice work. Paul to match the bird. No worries there. On hole 8, another par 4. This is the one with the Mando about 400 feet out. Big dog leg left. Nico taking the low line, although I think he's got the power to go over the top. And he kind of landed behind that tree, not the best spot. And here's Paul taking that over the top line I was talking about. And he just booms it out there. Might be able to see it there. You can see it fade back in. Around the Mando. That was your TD, by the way, right there. Simon Lizotte with a huge hyzer bomb. Again, clears the Mando, no problem. These guys are putting on a show. Nico throwing the forehand to try to get around the Mando and close to the pin, and that was a nice shot right there. Paul has an eagle run. Alex, he's just laying up for a bird. Looking at Simon's eagle run right here. Not a bad up. Bring us the whole 9, and Nico's throwing a sky backhand roller, but it hits a telephone pole behind that tree you can't see. Apparently he parked it like 3 or 4 times in practice right in a row. So here's that hole I was telling you. Macbeth takes the anti-flex shot, and I don't know if you saw that finish, but it's parked. Simon's taking the low forehand line, which also works. Wow, really nice shot. Kyle as well. Whew. He actually finished a little long, but not bad at all. Now you can see him. So went a little long coming back towards the basket for his bird. Oh, nice putt, Kyle. Simon has no problem with his birdie either, and that's Paul's yellow disc. Parked. And that's brings hole 11. This is that big 500-footer slide uphill. And watch the mat when Simon throws right here. You see it move? I'm not sure if that threw him off. Apparently that mat moved about 3 feet during the tournament. Nico is lining up for a 360 drive here. Oh, no. Just caught that tree coming out. And that's bringing us to hole 11 here. I'm sorry, that last one was 10. This was another par 4. This is the one that's up on that little ridge. Macbeth crushes a huge bomb. And this one, it's got a little too much turn. Finishes pretty much pin high, like 60 feet right. Not a bad drive at all. And this is Macbeth's eagle putt. And he banged it. Huge putt. That was a scary putt too. Bit of a death putt went from there. And hole 12. This is the one with the OB short. Macbeth throws a rock 3. And he's under the basket. Simon to match. Look how slow his run up is, and then just snap. Whew. Just short. Stays in bounds though, which is nice. And Philo is on the box here. Looks like he's got a champ rock in his hands. Good looking pull. Ooh, real close. And those were all birds. Nico LaCastro, I think he's actually throwing a fairway driver on this one. Yeah, he's just taking a bigger hyzer line though. The dirt was really soft around the basket. It was pretty forgiving with that not skipping out. Bring us to hole 13 is that big 460-foot par 3. And like I said, most of the guys are going up the middle, but Paul just throws this huge 460-foot backhand Annie that crashes into that tree and gives him this putt for birdie. Which he bangs because he's Paul Macbeth. What? I bet you that was the only birdie on that hole all weekend. Unreal. Bring us to hole 14. Is that gotta go left of the Mandy, pins off to the right. Simon's throwing that forehand again. And that looked pretty good again. And then we're looking at his birdie putt. Oh, just short. Gotta want it, Simon. Hole 15. Baskets up by the just in short right of those baskets. And again, Simon's taking that huge backhand hyzer line. And this one comes up a little shorter than last time. You can see it finish there, but he still actually got a birdie putt from there. Philo taking the more conventional route right up the middle. He gets a Beautiful kiss towards the basket off that rock. Really nice. Paul throwing the forehand. And he told me he was actually trying to land right there. And the hard dirt gets that skip towards the basket. Really nice shot. And there he just finishing out his bird. Simon missed that putt, but Philo didn't. Another par 4 here. Hole 16. Ooh. Philo cut it a little wide, but still cleared the gap. And the pin's pretty much straight ahead, about 250. Philo lays down a beautiful upshot. Bring us to hole 17 at Island Hole again. The road's about, I don't know, 40 feet wide, just short of the basket. And McBeast he's running towards the basket, no laying up here. And he made the island. He's going to have a birdie putt from there. So Simon takes a different shot than he did the first day here. He's taking a big hyzer line at it.
Coming right at that guy.
And you can see it finish right there. And he is in the island safe. Oh, sorry, I lied. That was short. Ooh, he did stay in bounds there. And we're looking at McBeast's birdie putt. Ooh, off the tree. Hole 18 again, double mando. Left of the first mando, right of the second one. And a big dogleg left after that. And Kyle is throwing that champ gator. And that's pretty much exactly where you want to be. Philo, going to try and copy Kyle here. This is a tough hole. I know we got a lot of players. Oh no, Philo. Missed that mando. Macbeth looks like he's throwing a Casey Pro rock. Hyzer flipping and getting that rock glide. Perfect turn. Yeah, that's pretty much where you're trying to be. Nico LaCastro, see if he can throw Paul's shot. That's looking pretty good. Yeah, nice looking riff from Nico. So Philo from the drop zone. He's just trying to get past that. Oh no, Philo. Didn't put himself in the best spot there. Look at Simon's second shot on this par 4. Throwing the forehand. And not bad, just a little short right. Kyle with a similar look. Similar results. Macbeth also throwing a forehand. Big flex shot. That pop top Star Destroyer. And you see Philo, he kind of took a while figuring out what to do with that mando tree. Ended up throwing the backhand that just didn't fade back for him. Look at it, Nico's 3 attempt here. Ooh, off the cage. Simon with his birdie putt. Oh. Philo with a par save attempt. Oh. Macbeth with a birdie look. Nobody can putt on this basket. Rough hole there. That's going to bring us to our last hole for this card, and that is hole 1. And this is that big dogleg left, but you got to go right of that tree. And Kyle throws an unreal shot. Can you believe that? It was a beautiful drive by Kyle. Oh, the first round, I was telling Kyle, I was like, yeah, that hole's pretty much unbirdieable. And he's like, yeah, watch this. And then Paul does almost the same thing. Unbelievable shots by these guys. Simon with his drive. Oh no, too much hyzer. Oh, he missed the mando. Not what you're trying to do, finishing around. Rough break. Philo. Oh no. Oh, same thing. It was a tough course. And it was a long day for these guys. Whew, nice birdie putt by McBeast. And an even better drive by Kyle leads to another birdie.
All right, so let's coast this
and I caught up with Paul here.
Paul Macbeth after his second round at the what tournament is this, Paul?
Wintertime Open.
Wintertime Open in Pasadena, California. How's the course out there? The course is playing a little different this year. Tossed in some mandatories because he didn't like a lot of these players going over the trees.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, it's making it change up a little bit.
Any holes you like? Any holes you don't like?
I've always liked the 2 open ones out there where you can just bomb and
Crush it out there.
Yeah. But I'm actually liking 18. You know, people are really hating it. He switched it, but it's not really affecting me.
That's got that tricky double Mando, right?
Yeah, I get that McPro Rock right through there.
Nice,
Pro
man.
Rock 3.
Any holes you're playing differently tomorrow? Are you like?
Differently? No, I actually like what I'm doing. Just a couple, I just got lazy. Took a 5 and 2 4s, just being lazy. But got a lot of 2s out there, so I can definitely shoot under.
Awesome, thanks, man. You want to thank your sponsors or anything?
Yeah, of course. I got to thank Innova Champion Disc, Grip Bags, and Crush Gloves.
Cool, thanks for your time. All right, so
And after that, I caught up with Simon.
Simon leads up after the second round of the Wintertime Open. How'd you play, Simon?
I feel like I played pretty well.
Yeah?
First round was good, shot a 52. Second round, bad finish, just tired and not concentrated anymore. Got 4 4s for finishing.
36 holes is a long day.
And then, yeah, I got a 56, which is still okay. My goal was to shoot 54s,
Okay.
so in total it's all right.
What do you think of the course?
I don't really want to say anything bad about it, but it's not my favorite.
Yeah, some tricky bad Mandy's on this.
We call it frisbee golf. It's not disc golf anymore.
Yeah. What do you think? Any holes you're gonna play differently tomorrow? Different shots, or you like what you're throwing pretty much?
I pretty much like what I'm doing. Maybe hole 17. I have to throw it harder.
Yeah. Okay.
Tomorrow I want to throw it harder.
Okay. How's America, man? How you like in the U.S.?
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Standing here in shorts and t-shirts for me is crazy, and it's February.
Gotta love it.
So, yeah, it's being a dream, and I hope it continues.
Are you trying to stay here all year? Or?
Well, we're going to Japan
Okay.
in June, and doing the Scandinavian trip, going through Europe, and then back here. We'll see what happens.
Awesome. Got any sponsors you want to thank?
I need to thank Tasmania. Without them, I wouldn't be here, and thanks Yossi, Avery, perfect people, perfect support.
Awesome. All right, thanks so much for your time, Simon.
Yeah, sure.
All right, guys. That's the end of the second round. Paul's in the lead by 3 over Philo. Patrick Blazak played really well, as long with Brian Vaji. Simon, not too bad. Kyle and Nico kind of fell off the second lead card. And that's going to bring us to our third round. And we are starting off on hole 1. It's that big dogleg left with the Mandy. See the basket over there, over the goal. And Paul Macbeth is going to start us off. Throwing that backhand hyzer. This one's a little high. It still works really well. Philo is up next. Hangs it out a little wide, it looks like. Oh, gets an unfortunate tree kick. And up next is Patrick Blazak. He's a DD Latitude 64 sponsored. Or sorry, Latitude 64 sponsored. Throws all Trilogy plastic, and he throws a really nice backhand right there. He might be DD sponsored too. I should really look that shove up. Brian Vaji with his drive, and he hung it out a little wide, but did stay in bounds at least. And Simon leads up. Look at that saber slow run up, tons of snap. And he skips around that tree, no problem. A pretty nice drive. Looking at Paul's birdie putt here. And not a bad way to start off the round. Unreal.
Oh, Kevin? Yeah. The forehand, dude.
Tell him this one's for him.
I will.
I don't know if you caught that. He was dedicating this forehand to Kevin Estrada, my forehand homie, partner in Central Coast Disc Golf crime. Oh, gets it over the OB. He's gonna have a birdie look. Philo rips out a pretty good forehand as well. I'm not gonna see a finish, but he's also looking at a birdie putt, and here it is. And that's Philo, so he bangs that. Paul try and match. Paul Macbeth doesn't miss putts. On to hole 3. Looks like Philo's lining up for that big sky Annie shot again. And you can see it crash through the trees, and that's a pretty nice shot. I think everybody got a birdie on that one. And we're on to hole 4. This is that dogleg right, really, really uphill. And if you remember last round, Paul Macbeth parked it with the KC Pro Rock, and he almost aced that, but still parked it. On to hole 5. And this is that island hole. OB off to the right the whole way. And Patrick is going to take a cool line, which I hadn't seen anybody else take yet. And that was a really nice drive. It's a cool line because it gives you that look right there where you don't have to throw over the rocks. See what Philo had to deal with on his second shot. Whew, lucky to stay in bounds right there. Onto that big par 4, yep. And Macbeth again, crushing a huge Sky Annie. And this one, I don't believe came back. Actually went over into the right fairway, over that fairway, hit a telephone pole, and kicked back into the middle of the fairway. World champion it right there. We're going to Philo's second shot. Just got to throw a big hyzer. Basket's off to the left there, and yeah, it gets in pretty well. It's going to have a birdie putt. Simon has a pretty similar look to Philo. Booms it up there. Yeah, really nice shot. So you can see where Paul finished on his drive. Unreal. And he's throwing a Nova at it. Yeah, beautiful up. Philo's birdie putt here. Just short. Simon with his. No problem. Really nice upshot from Simon. And see where Paul finished. He tapped that in. And skip 7, we're on to 8. And Paul's going to throw a huge Sky Annie flex shot again. This is that big par 4. Got to get around the Mando tree. Or Mando pole, I guess. And I can see Paul finish there. Clears the Mando, no problem, because he's McBeast. And he McBeasted it. Simon. He throws real far, too. Like, real far. God, what a bomb. Philo taking the route the Mortals take. Oh, hit that rock. Came up a little short. See where Paul finished. He's got his eagle look. And that's Simon's disc off to the right. Woo! Paul almost made that. Skipping on to hole 9. It's that dogleg right. And Paul throws a sick Annie at it, which is an instant replay of round 2, and he's parked again. He's got that pop-top destroyer to lock down. He told me he lost his star max he was using for a forehand, so now he's using that star destroyer. Watch the mat again. See the mat move again? Gotta get that fixed. Ooh, Simon's Annie does not come back. I think he managed to save par from there, though. And here we are coming to the next hole, coming back. Another 500-foot par 4. Simon dialed this one in. See, bombed it out there, and he finished about, 12 feet short of the basket? There he is right there. 10 feet short. Look at that eagle putt. Man, that kid throws really far. If you ever have a chance to go watch Simon or Paul or any of these big guys throw, you got to go do it. It's simply amazing. Paul throws that big Sky Annie, but since he told me the wind caught that one, and he actually went all the way to the right OB, so this is going to be his par putt. And that was a star destroyer for anybody wondering. I did, so I asked him. Oh, cheat out for par. On to hole 14. Brian Vaggi's on the box. And he throws what I think is probably the best shot on this, which is an Annie backhand. And have it slide right up the basket. Beautiful drive. And he banged that, no problem. On to hole 15. It's that par 4. Or sorry, that dogleg right that Simon just throws over because he can. And there you can see it finish. Philo throwing the backhand again. Probably hoping he hits that same rock he did yesterday. And he piped it right up the middle. And that's going to give him a birdie putt. Here's where Paul finished after a forehand. And Paul back net. Not surprising. Philo to try and match the bird. Ooh, nice putt. That'll bring us to hole. What is this? Oh, I skipped 17. And this is the one with the island pin again. And Paul's going for it again. Ooh, slow down. Oh.
Come back in.
Oh, rolled out of bounds right there. It's going to have a look to save par, though. And I believe Simon's going to opt for that big hyzer line again. Yep. You remember, he came up short when he tried this yesterday. Today, not so much. Almost parked. Beautiful drive from Simon. Oh, and Paul saves 3. Real nice right there. And we're looking at Simon's birdie putt. No worries there.
Nice birdie.
And that's bringing us to hole 18. This is that double Mando again. Big dog leg left. Gonna go right of, or left of the telephone pole, right of the tree. And Philo, looks like he got cut up in that tree a little bit, but still had a pretty nice drive. And we're looking at Brian Vagi's drive. He's a local. Got throwing that out there. And Philo's pretty local status too. Brian has a really nice drive here. Puts it pretty much the perfect spot. And I believe we're looking at Philo for a 3. Nice bird. And then that's going to be around end of round 3. Paul and Beth kind of ran away with this thing. And Philo and Kyle are going to battle it out for second in our final 9. Nico finished 4th. Brian Vaggi 5th. Simon Lizot tied for 5th. And Steve and Jeff Sporer back there. And our final 9 kind of skips around a little bit, but we are starting off on hole 1. Big dog leg left. Got to throw to the right of that big Mando tree. Big Beast throws a pretty decent shot. Should be an easy par from there. He's got a 9-stroke lead, so he's probably not pushing it too crazy. Philo's drive a little far to the right, but not terrible. See the basket way off to the left. This is a tough bird. Kyle and Paul did it, but not easy to do, and they're really good. Kyle with his drive looks really good. Oh, look at that tree. That thing was hunting. Skipping ahead to hole 3, and this is Kyle's 3rd shot, his birdie putt. And it's a 100-footer. He was down by a stroke to Philo, and Philo is pretty much parked for a 3-2. So he really wanted that. That was a beautiful putt. So here's Philo to try and match that 3. Oh no, Philo. Skipping ahead, here is Philo for a 3. Oh, brutal chain out again. Philo entertaining the crowd even after a bad miss. Gotta love the guy. He and Kyle tie that on that. And here is Kyle to take the lead. And he does. On next hole. And that's going to bring us to, what is this, hole 8. It's that big par 4. Dogleg left. It's going to throw right around the Mando. And Kyle decides to put on his big boy pants and throw the Macbeth and Lizot shot. And he unfortunately comes up a little short. But the drop zone actually isn't that terrible. And Philo's going to opt for the low route. Looking pretty good, but you just needed to get a little bit of fade, and that went so deep in that bush. Yeah, that's Philo in that bush, and he was in there for a little bit figuring something out, but he figured out a pretty nice shot. That was a forehand roller. Comes up about 30 short, but that not bad at all from where he was. And there's where Paul landed. Another huge palm. Another birdie. And here's Philo for bird. Try to get a stroke back on Kyle. Tie them up again. just to the left. And we're skipping ahead to hopefully this hole 10, maybe 9. Yeah, this is hole 9. And Paul Macbeth throws the same shot he did the last 2 rounds, probably 3, and parked it again. The other 2 guys parred onto hole 12. And look at that gallery. It was one of the biggest galleries I've seen in a disc golf tournament. It was really cool. Met a lot of CCDG fans. It was totally awesome. Thanks for saying hi, everybody. And Kyle's drive. This is the one with the OB short. He might have been playing a little safe with the 1-stroke lead, but leaves it out there. And I don't know if you see this. Philo totally pumped up the crowd. It was awesome. Having some fun during the final 9. Gotta love it. What a gamer. Looks like he's throwing a champ rock through here.
Oh my god. That was the funniest shit ever. I'm not gonna try to do that.
Who hangs this out there? Might be a little tight. Get down. Ooh. Oh. Caught kind of nasty skip. He stayed in bounds though, so this is for bird. Oh, it comes up just short. So Kyle keeps his 1-stroke lead. On to hole 14. Dogleg right. Got to throw left around that Mando. And Philo throws a champ T-bird and pretty much parks it. Beautiful looking drive.
Miracle! Holy crap, I got one. See if I can make a putt now.
So here he is, his bird to try to tie Kyle. And another chain out, Philo. No. Oh, buddy. Crooked basket, man. Look at that thing. And that's going to bring us to our last hole. Hole 18. Double Mando, dogleg left. Kyle throwing that champ gator. I still can't believe that's a gator. Philo looks like he's trying to make up that stroke on Kyle. Puts a little gusto on it. Makes both Mandos. But that's actually not the best place to be. There's kind of more trees if you go along. You see, it looks like Kyle's second shot. And he gives himself a look for 3, putting the pressure back on Philo because he's definitely got a 4 if he wants it. So Philo really needs to get up and down from here. Force Kyle to make that putt. And, oh no. Tagged the tree right there, came up short. So this is for 3. He's going to be running it. I need another tree again. There he is, tapping in 5. So that means Kyle can tap in his 4, no problem. You see there's Kyle tapping in a 4, getting second place. Philo got 3rd. UC Maresco spotting right there. And there's your champ, Paul Macbeth. Somebody told me he was 3-time champ now. 3 in a row. Man. Won by like 10 strokes, something like that. 9 or 10 strokes. UC taking pictures of the gang. Really impressive performance. Avery Jenkins spotting.
Hi guys, Ian here with Central Coast
I caught up with Paul here.
Paul Macbeth, winner of the Wintertime Open.
Thank you.
How'd it go, Paul?
It was fun.
Yeah?
Enjoyed it. Yeah, we had great weather out here this weekend. I think it was 80s.
Beautiful.
So yeah, it was perfect.
Absolutely. How was the competition?
Good. There were some players out here for sure. I know Nico came in from Northern California. Kyle, Philo, Steve Rico. There's some top names out
Simon
here.
was playing great too.
Simon too. Yeah, came out from Germany. Which was cool.
Far, man. He's giving you room for your money in the distance.
Yep.
Yeah. Any holes giving you trouble out here? Or?
Yeah, actually, I finally birdied it in the final 9. What was that? I think 10 or something like that. Right here, it's in the final 9, but that one was giving me trouble. Over par on the weekend for it. So.
Really impressive performance. It was awesome watching you play all weekend. Man. Really inspiring. So thanks for your time, and thank your sponsors for sure.
Yeah, of course. Innova Champion Disc, Grit Bags, and Crushed Clothes.
All right, Ian from Central Coast. Thanks for watching, guys. Catch you around. Thanks, Paul. All right,
And I also caught up with Kyle Ekman.
Catching up with Kyle Ekman, second place, the Wintertime Open.
Yeah.
Pretty solid performance, man.
Didn't start off all solid, but
Yeah.
it was a rough battle. First round went well. Middle round was the haze.
Yeah.
And then last round put it together. Jumped from the 3rd card up to 3rd place.
Final 9, and then how'd the final 9 go, man?
Final 9 was something else too.
Yeah, you and Philo battling out there for second?
Yeah, he had me by 1. I actually got a really good putt on the 3rd hole there. Second
Oh,
hole.
that was huge, man. What is a 100-footer probably? At least.
I don't even know what I was thinking. It got through my head. I wanted to throw it, and I threw it.
That was beautiful, man. That was a great putt. Cool. Any holes you liked out there? Challenging holes? Holes you changed up throughout the tournament?
Well, I had a layup. I didn't have to. I chose to lay up on 18. That hole, I took a 3 all 3 rounds.
Wow, that's impressive.
So,
Man. That is a tough hole. Double Mando, right?
Double Mandy with a nice, little left there. So, yeah, pretty happy about it. It's all solid.
Cool, man. You want to thank your sponsors? Who you got?
Yeah, I got a Nova Disc and West Coast Disc Golf. Those are the 2 sponsors out there, so looking for more.
Cool, man. Thanks for your time and congrats on the performance, dude. Killing it out there.
And I also caught up with Alex Johnson.
You know, they tend to be the same at OG every time I come. I tend to shoot in the mid to low 60s, and it's always frustrating, but yet I love it every time. Thanks for filming, you guys. I appreciate it big time. You guys rock and put out the videos and make people happy if they're not able to see the course, to be able to at least feel like they're there.
Thanks for
big
watching.
hi to my wife and kids back home in Denver. It's nice to be in the sun in California. Central Disc Golf.
Nice, dude. Right on.
All right, guys, that is it for the 2014 Wintertime Open recap vid. We'll have full round coverage coming up. I covered the first round, single cam second round, dual cam thanks to CCDG homie Alex Perez, and third round and final 9 are dual cam, and I filmed with my buddy Derek Curdy. Huge thanks to him, and it should be awesome. Up next is the NorCal series. Got the commentaries done. I just need to do the finishing editing. We'll have those up, and then I'll start editing the Wintertime Open. And Kevin and Derek and I'll do some commentary, and we'll bust it out. Should be awesome. And thanks for watching, guys, and we'll catch you around.